Hello, hello. Just checking that the sound is okay, and then we can start with the first stage. Okay, the sound seems to be okay. Um, so we can start with the stream. Um, so in Basque country we have a lot of hills, but the first one is maybe for the sprinters. Um, that's uh, irregular ending, but not really big hills, so the sprinters could survive. Second stage is a hilly stage, but with a downhill ending. Really dangerous downhill in real life. Um, Third stage is really hilly with an ending up a small climb. Stage 4 has La Asturiana at the end, where gaps can be made. Stage 5 is again hilly, but we could see a small group sprint or late attack maybe. And then the last stage is very hilly with Kravelin and some other bigger climbs, but again the ending is not that hard, so um, maybe small group sprints. Um, for today, we have the big favorites with Walscheid, Ethan Hayter, Cor Anderson, and then some smaller names. There are not really big sprinters present because, yeah, there's only one flattish stage. Um, we will try to start with the first stage and see if there isn't too much lag. I upped the graphics a little bit since the ronde, so there is a possibility that there's some lag again, but then just tell me and um, I'll put the graphics down again. Should I keep some riders or there's no TT, I think, so I can just DNF all my riders, I think. Um, so you will all be gone. So 165 kilometers. Let's see who does what. And right from the start, we have an attack by Berasategi. And I think it's, yes, Euskaltel really wants to go on the break because they have already second rider Asparan who is trying to bridge. But maybe the peloton thinks that four riders in a break is too much. So they're chasing them down again. Then we have the Preto from Q 36.5. And then I think there are a lot of people that want to go in a breakaway, but the peloton won't let many go. So we have two riders up front now, the Prato, and with a minute before him, Biras Strategi. And those two will probably make the breakaway for today because the peloton has um, stopped riding. But the Prato still has to get to his companion of today. I think the lag is fine this time, so I will keep it like this. We have Ineos, Israel, Bardiani, and Kofidis and EF working. So they think they have a good enough contender to try and go for the stage win. The break has already 3 minutes now. And we can go a bit faster. Astana again at the back of the peloton, together with Cajarual. 5 minutes already for the breakaway. It's not that long stage, and we are reaching the first and only categorized climb of today. There are 6 points to be earned for the first rider at the top. We have already, the break has 6.5 minutes at the moment. 7 minutes, yes. So they are just two, but they have really big, nice gap. And we have the sprint for the mountain points. And it is won by, I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell. We'll check. Berasategui is shown here as the winner of the mountain sprints. Um, but it was really close. The Presto really came back at the end. The Preto. Um, but yeah, Berasategui takes the points. Yeah, probably mass sprint, even though the break has like 7.5 minutes, but it's not enough probably to. But the ending is really irregular. It's not that hilly, but there are some small uphill sections where you could really make or break the peloton. So we'll see what teams take advantage of that. But right now we can just go forward a bit. And we had a crash, but I think he's already back. Um, and more riders are on the ground. Chavez and Rodenberg. Guernalec had a flat tire, I think. But you had also uh, Berwick had a crash. So yeah, but he's also already back in the peloton, so he should be fine. Those three are still trying to get back. Chavez is could be a favorite for stage or maybe GC, given that there's no time trial. So um, hopefully for him they get back. But at the moment it's only Rodenberg that is riding, trying to get back to the peloton, and they managed to get back. So Everything is okay now. 4.5 minutes for the break with 80 kilometers to go. I will try to go to the stages a bit faster because we have 6 stages in total, and we have Garcia and Haile Michael who crashed. Garcia is already back, but Haile Michael not. So he is trying to get back. It's funny that the PCM message say like, "Wow, huge crash in the peloton." Two guys, like two guys is a huge crash. So Jumbo now trying to get to the front for the intermediate sprint with Oldani. Uh, we have also Skara Andersen and Spargali, Poivin, Van Rooij. Walscheid is also coming to the front, but first the sprint between the breakaway riders. And there it's once again Berastegi that takes it in front of the Preto. This will be a weird sprint with a uphill drag just before. Oldani goes first. There's 4 points left, and it seems like, oh nope, Oldani must time himself, and Fiorelli takes the 4 points. Also, the peloton has 23 riders now, but the rest will get back. And Gregoire crashed, but he's also back in the peloton already. So Haile Michael won't make it back probably. 3 minutes left for the breakaway, with 47 kilometers to go. So let's see how long they can hold it. 2 minutes left and 30 kilometers to go. In the peloton, and Bargai crashed, but is already back in the peloton. Hader crashed, but is also still in the peloton. Hader is like the main favorite for Ineos, and this is a major crash. Frigo, Rees, Asparen, Cepeda, Baren, Baranatsia, Baiz and Petili are two big okay riders from 1T. Everyone can continue though, so no big problem, but they still have to get back while Abriha has to can't follow the peloton anymore. So in the front, there are 9 riders who are escaping just for the intermediate sprints, but everything is called back, and they will catch the break just before the intermediate sprints. So all 10 points go to the first rider. Let's see how good they pace themselves. Walshire in prime position, Oldani just behind. Oldani, oh, it's Poivin who takes it in front of Oldani and Walshire. And they are going with 3 riders, so maybe that's okay. In the back we have Cepeda who's slow trying to get to the front. Also Bantillet is at the back, Pickering, Jared Scott, Decker, Basque, Pais, Uzurio. Some big riders are behind, so some riders are already tired. Robin Harris is behind. Decker was one of the favorites for the stage, but he won't make it. It was too hard for him. Schlegel is also at the back. A lot of riders who are tired and just can't keep up with the peloton. Only 99 riders, and we have not really much cooperation right now. McNulty is at the head of peloton, but Oldani, their sprinter, is already in P2. So he will have to get his own lead out, I think. Spargali has a nice train. Ineos with Hater has a nice train. Walscheid at the front, but has no one, has just Ira in front of him, and like four guys following him. Now the Alpecin train is starting with Bayer, and then Carl Anderson, and then Spargali. Sparagli. 4 kilometers left, and it's already at Carl Anderson. Ineos still has two guys in front of Hader, so that may be better. Also, Israel is coming up now, and they can bring Guavin to the front really well. Sarif at Guerrero trying to bridge. Fiorelli is at the front. Does anyone come around? No, it's not. Fiorelli wins the first stage in front of Guavin, who just keeps off Walscheid. And then Hater is fourth, Sobrero fifth, Baragli sixth, Esquerra seventh, Pedersen eighth, Paulus ninth, and Tesfazion 10th. The sprint airing was good, but yeah, Baragli couldn't finish it in the end. Um, I don't think there are any major names. That's Cepeda maybe, but for the rest, all Antolet is behind as well. But most riders are still in the same time. It was a really strong sprint of Fiorelli, just from the third at the front, and no one could get along him or past him, even though it was an uphill sprint. Do I have to export the result of every stage or just the final one? Mm, so every stage probably, yes. Okay, export. So nice win for Bardiani, who is like taking a lot of points here. Yeah, everyone finished, um, and don't think any big favorites lost time. So we can go on to stage two. Just screenshots of the results, and then yeah. Okay, let's go on to the next stage. The main favorites for today are Bilbao with the downhill finish, probably. Gegenhardt, Higita, Hater, the twins, Fuglsang, Paulus, Guerrero, Ayuso, and Carlos Rodriguez. Um, so yeah, we can start stage two, I think. stage two a bit more heavy, so we could see other riders take the stage. We are the start and the leader of the mountain classification, our strategy already attacks. He has a lot of courage to go on your break again for today. There are more riders who want to go into the attack, but Bardiani, who is taking things in their own hands, won't let that many riders get away. Fiorelli has some decent mount stats, so maybe he could survive really far in the stage. The last climb is okay, not too hard, although 9.2 kilometers is really long, so you have to hold on quite hard. Shapira now trying to get in the break because he already lost time, but Barian is closing most attacks. Also, it really lost time, so he can attack, but that will be too many riders on the break. So, and David Decker crashed with Heide Michael and Javier Rommel and Lucas. And David Decker has to abandon the race. So, one DNF Decker. So we have Wallen and Pirasateki in the break, and then gets the ball behind. And in the peloton, the whole Bardiani team is here almost. Yeah, Jared Scott protecting Fiorelli, and all the rest trying to close the gap or keep maintain the gap at the break. The best place to rider in the break is Pirasateki because he was won amount and yeah, he won an intermediate sprint, I think. Yeah, it's both probably the best rider in terms of stats for in the break today. And flat tire for Serrano. The weather today is better than the last stage, so but the break doesn't get that much time. It's mostly Simon Carr who is controlling the peloton. And I'm too late because there's the mountain sprint here. Victory for Bol and then Veracity and Wallen, second and third. And in the peloton, Carr takes the final points. So Bol is catching up, but Veracity is still leading. Front tire for Keschke, who is far behind back, so he'll have some trouble getting back to the peloton. Only 2 minutes for the break, so they will have to step up to keep their gap. Ball is already empty, and the other two also. I think it was close, but Borathategi takes it in front of Wallen and Ball starts. Here it says Ball second, but he only got 1 point. So, although, mm, yeah, he just got 1 point. Now it's really fast sprint, climb, climb, sprint. So a lot of points up for grabs still. If they can hold on until like 30 kilometers, Ball wins the intermediate sprint. Curiosity second, I think. Asperen crashed with Slegel, Bendixen, and Van Rooij, but they're all getting up again. Also, Kashka is back in the peloton. Yeah, right here. So good effort from him. Again, sprint for the market points. They're all empty, but Bo takes the 3 points in front of Bearsa taking and Wallen. So still 5 point difference between Bearsa taking and Bo. Wallen is third with 10 points behind. And Bardiani is still controlling the break with some riders at the back, like Simon Carr, who worked at the front all day. So the break will maybe be got on this climb or on the next one. It's steeper climb, maximum percentage 2.8%. So let's see how well they do. Break might just make it over the top here. Ball gets first, 6 points, 4 points for Verstegen and Wallen third. So Verstegen will probably be the leader of the mountain classification at the end of this stage. Now it's downhill and then an intermediate sprint and then the final climb, which is quite long. Still Jared Scott there at the front of the peloton, doing a great job for his team. Fiorelli is at the front, Lambert at the front, Twins, Gegenhardt. Gregoire is there, and there's some gaps in the peloton, in the downhill. Oldani is a bit at the back. Gita is there, Healy. We have the intermediate sprint, but I don't know. Yeah, Fiorelli takes like 4 points at the intermediate sprint and he goes on. He wants to go solo. 25 kilometers left. Bilbao is at the front. The Giri, Koes is still here. I don't really see Ayuso. Where's Ayuso? No, he's there. Also good at front. Everyone is caught again, so we can start the uphill drag towards the final climb. EF still very active. So here we are, final climb, 8 kilometers left, and already an attack from Dombrowski. Izakira and Buitrago follow. Healy, Tuns, Landa, Gegenhardt, Ayuso, Kus. Quite a nice group. And Dombrowski is almost alone. 10 people in the peloton. Kus is struggling to get to the wheel, but gets there. And we have Romo, Rodriguez, the both Rodriguez, Buitrago and Gregoire, who are a bit at the back. Paulus is trying to catch up. Dombrowski is empty. Healy attacked, but couldn't make it. So we have 15 riders in the peloton, and Paulus is still trying to catch up. Also, Jumbo has missed only, they have only Ayuso and Gregoire. Okay, they have most people. Paulus is at the back. Rodriguez will take the points at the top. And now it's downhill and trying to see who is the fastest at the line. Goal is to be up front because with the downhill finish, can't be easily to catch up. We are already sprinting. Rodriguez at the front with 78 downhill. That's really possible to take the stage, I think. Maybe Dylan Tunes to get past. No, it's Rodriguez who takes the stage in front of Tunes, Guerrero, Landa, Healy, Barguil, Pietrago, Rod Koes, Christian Rodriguez, Gegenhaar, then Ayuso Gregoire, Izagirre and Hirada. Paulus at 40 seconds and the peloton at a minute. So the jersey will change shoulders because Fiorelli lost some time. I think most riders are still here. Puls is at the back. The works here all started. We'll lose some time today. Yeah, I think most favorites are in the first 15 or um, in the peloton at 1 minute of the first 15 riders. But really strange sprint with a downhill um, sprint, like no one overtook another person. Strange finish, let me say that. Um, so yeah, Rodriguez wins. Vanaf Teuns, Guerrero, Landa, Hizli, Bargil, Buitrago, Koes, Rodriguez, and Gegenhardt. He also takes the overall standings. Um, Mountain standing is still for Bergsategi, and the point standing is still Fiorelli just in front of Poivin, and Carlos Rodriguez moves up to third place. Young rider standings, only 6 riders in 10 seconds of each other, and then the rest already behind. So maybe it will go between these 6. But Ayuso and Rodriguez the main favorites, I think. And in team classification, Bahrain Victorious is there. It might be a bigger breakaway, but um, I wouldn't be sure about that. So we can go on to stage 3 now. If it is a big breakaway today, they can go really far because it's not that hard. It's really hilly, but not super big climbs. Yeah. Yeah, it might be a bit too early because it's only stage 3. Might be a bit too early to really big breakaway stage, but we'll see if players getting break. Stage 3. Here's Hotel trying to get in the break again with Jared Scott, who were like hell yesterday. Dombrowski, who attacked first. Madrazzo, but I don't know if the Paladin will let such a big hoop go. Let's see, there are a lot of riders who are trying to get in the breakaway, but it feels like Peloton won't let them go. So at the moment, we only have Jared Scott, who is doing an absolutely amazing day or amazing stage race. And again, a lot of riders who are trying to get in the break, but Peloton won't let them go. Testation, oh, but it's again too much. Maybe we have 4 riders that are attacking right now. Jared Scott, Van de Putte, Testation, and Javier Romo, who is 14. He managed to finish in the first 15 last stage, so he is quite good for the overall standings. Don't know why he's going in a break today, but those 4 will be today's breakaway. And in the peloton, Ineos is controlling because they have the leader, of course. Crash by Bais, and he has to give up. Let's check again. So Bais crashed and has to give up. And then we have Muriel Day. Sorry for the pronunciation. He is still trying to get back to the peloton. I saw a message that 3 other riders crashed, but they are still in the peloton, so that's okay. coming to the first climb of today, and all the points will go to the breakaway riders. So let's see who gets at the top first. Homo starts early. Tesfatsion trying to get past, and he will. So it is Tesfatsion in front of Van der Putte and Homo, I think. Yes. Jared Scott is already empty. Peloton is not letting me go, but Ucho is also empty in Peloton, so now it's up to Castrovecu to maintain the gap. Everyone is dead in a breakaway, but Castrovecu is now leading the chase. There are only two people left, and it's Tesfatsion and Romu, and Tesfatsion will get first. And then I've missed a sprint behind. I think behind it was um, the battle who took the last points from the Paladin sprints. He won't get back. Kaswiak was still leading the chase. The break is separated and has only 15 points. 50 seconds in front of the peloton. So they won't make it. The intermediate sprint, that looks like a fine finish. Really fun. Desviations take the sprint. From the FOMO and then put your third. Now we're at the climbs again. Homo was caught, the Station alone at the front. Rodriguez really at the front of the group right now. Puccio is empty, so it's again Castrovecu who is taking over. Anyone trying to go for the sprints? Yes, the Preto, and he will take the full 3 points at the top. And then is equal with Tesfatsion at 4. And now Berathategi is attacking. And there is a gap in the peloton. So 26 riders are away. Let's see if they continue that effort. The Preto is waiting. It's mostly Ineos who is trying to make that gap bigger, but they're all cut up again. So 130 riders in the peloton, and now no one wants to do anything. Just like all the mountain points riders are at the front, and then the Preto attacks. And he takes the point in front of Biasategi and Wadden. Jared Scott is once again with them, trying to get in a group, and so we have a new breakaway. Biasategi, Wadden, De Preto, and Jared Scott, who is like the most active rider of this race. And we have a big crash. Herada Rojas. The rest of the riders is Chavez was with him. He is now behind. Cepeda, Camargo, Kudus. Chavez is behind. Parmesan, Berwick. The other Cepeda. Aldani. And now Rojas and Herada, Jesus Herada, are in this group also. So now the peloton have to catch up with the peloton, who is where Jumbo is riding, but they caught up again. So that's good news for EF Education First because a lot of their riders were behind. While in front, the Preto will once again take the mount points in front of Berasategui and Wallen. Preto moves up to third place in, in the mount classification, while Berasategui is extending his lead. Also at the back, we have the whole Bardiani team who is waiting for Jared Scott, I think, because I don't know why. So the whole team is trying to get Jared Scott back in the peloton. Um, special tactics from that team. Rojas is at the back. Van der Piet, Salby, Penhoet. And the final categorized climb of today. And once again, it's the Preto who takes it in front of Berasategui and Wallen. 25 points for Berasategui, who will not lose his jersey today. Yeah, just Jay Bardiani just waited for I think Jared Scott, which is really funny. They're still waiting for him, but he's like not the leader at all, and he ran the breakaway all day, so it's logical that he's tired. The whole team is waiting for him. Now the big World Tour teams are chasing down the break, which has still some time with 15 kilometers to go, but they will be caught right now. It's Gonzalez who is pushing hard. Let's see if the peloton survives this tempo. Seems like most riders are able to follow it. And McNulty attacks on one of the hills. And Bilbao and Pus are following. And are they cooperating? Yes, but they are caught again. So the pace goes down. Ayuso now trying to get away. Jumbo with guerrilla tactics. And they get the group at 7. And we're getting to the sprint right now. Final intermediate sprint before the line. 23 riders in the peloton. But just get on. Izagirre now with Paulus, Ayuso, Fuglsang, Koes. And Paulus and Jon Izagirre are away. They have a gap. The rest are trying to follow. And they managed to catch up with them. So 9 riders. And now it's Rodriguez who has to close it. Izagirre attacks, no one reacts. Is this the final move from the Spanish rider? Landa tries to catch up, but Izagirre got a gap. He's already celebrating. Does anyone come past him, gets past him? Maybe Fuglsang, but it doesn't seem like. Izagirre wins the stage in front of Dylan Teuns and Fuglsang. Guerrero is third. Paulus is Guerrero is fourth, Paulus fifth, Gegenhardt seventh, Ayuso eighth, Landa ninth, Kuss 10th. And then maybe there is a gap between the top 9 and Carlos Rodriguez. Yes, and Jumbo has 4 riders in the top 15, so that's nice. The peloton is completely broken down. That's Chavez also losing some time today. And Willy, who was fifth in the overall standings. Figueroa is also not great at the moment. So look what there was a rider that crashed, so just trying to get that one. 5 kilometers. Aaron van der Beken. Where is he? Here. There he is able to continue. So Jon Izagiri wins and gets 5 seconds bonus on the rest, a plus bonus seconds on the rest. Landa at 15 seconds, Kush loses 19, and Carlos Rodriguez 29. That means in the overall standings, Jon Izagirre takes the lead in front of Dylan Teuns, Guerrero, Ayuso, Gegenhardt, Landa, Carlos Rodriguez, Kush, Bitravo, and Barpil at already 42 seconds. Bera Strategi still leading the mark classification, Dylan Teuns leading the points classification. Ayuso steps up as the best young rider, with only 3 riders still within a minute. And then Movisma showing their strength as a team. So exports. Okay, so we have DNF from Decker and Bice already. So I think we can move on to the next stage. Yes. Stage 4, which has maybe the biggest opportunity to make some differences. 4 and 6, but 6 has not, the last climb is not that big, so you have to attack on the previous climb. And stage 5 is also not that big, so maybe today, if you can really manage to create a gap on the final climb, you can take some time for the overall standings. Okay, so we are at the start of stage 4, and once again it's Björn who attacks immediately, trying to defend his mountain jersey. He gets a nice cap, but then other teams are trying to get in breakaway themselves, while Marco Frigo is crashed with some other riders, but he's really behind, so he has to catch up to the peloton. This way, Björn will be empty just before the break will be made. Now Astana attacks with Javier Romo, but they're all. Oh, now we have a nice attack. Um, Fortunato, Madrazo, Salbi, Romo, Van de Pit, Goossens, Tonali, Miguel, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Basso, and Murasategui. And there are more riders who are trying to get to that group, but they don't manage. And Murasategui has to let go of that group because he's empty. But we have 9 riders in the break today. And the peloton is already chasing hard. While Vasek crashed, but he is already at front, so no real damage. Madrazo takes the mount, sprint in front of Goossens and Tonelli, but none of the breakaway riders. Como has 3 points, Van de Pit 2, and that's it. So no real threats to the mountain jersey of Beur Strategi, while it's Cofidis, and that is riding for their leader Isagiri. The best rider in the breakaway is Goossens, maybe? No, Fortunato is best rider in the breakaway, but he seems like he's already struggling a bit. 2 minutes behind the peloton, behind Isagiri. Salbi has to let go already, so only 8 riders left. Also Fortunato and Basu are empty. So that means only 6 riders left in the breakaway, while the peloton is now slowing down a bit and giving the breakaway some space. We have, at the moment, 3 minutes. And the peloton is Walscheid who is doing most of the work, while in the breakaway it is Madrazo in front of Coors and Tonelli once again, who take the points for the mount sprint. So in the breakaway we have still left Madrazo, Romo, Goossens, Tonelli, Van de Piet, and Morguelte. I don't know how to pronounce this name. Once again, it's Madraza who takes the points, and then I think Goosen is still second and Van de Piet third. 70 kilometers left and 4 minutes for the break. So let's see if the peloton can close that gap down before they reach the foot of the climb. I forgot to look at the sprints. Great job of me. Goossens won the sprint in front of Madrazo and Day. Only 2 minutes left for the breakaway. Well, some wires are behind. Goossens takes the next sprint as well, 1 minute 30 left. While the mountain classification of Bearthategi is back, and almost all of Euskatel is all of Euskatel is waiting for him. So that team won't win the stage probably. And now we start at the major final climb, 7.5 kilometers long, and it's Goossens who wants to get away from the rest. He drops Van de Pit Romo. The rest can follow. And in the peloton, we have some bigger attacks. Bilbao, Teuns, Oldani, Mulberger, Schmidt, Tursveld, and then Landa and Higita especially are attacking. And they're quickly catching up with the break, while Mulberger is trying to close that gap. And he manages to close that gap. So no one at the front. We still have to wait for some more attacks maybe. Kush is attacking at the top of the climb. Tunes and Buitrago follow, and Buitrago waits. So we have Tunes and Kush both at the front, 20 seconds in front of the group, and Ayuso trying to close them down. Kush and Tunes couldn't cooperate maybe, so they are caught again. Now Paulus is attacking in the downhill section, and 7 riders got a gap. Paulus, Guerrero, Gita, Tunes, Landa, Kus, and Gegenhardt. Who is trying to close it down. We also have some riders who are behind. Pools with no real threats. Christian Rodriguez is back, is behind. Otherwise, no real favorites, I think. Let's see, there's this small uphill section who Guerrero attacks, and he gets Higita and Tunes with him. Landa trying to get away, but can't. So 25 seconds for the 3 riders up front. But who's now leading the chase in the downhill? Now it's Gegenhardt's turn to try and bring the gap down. Guerrero who is third in overall, Tunes who is second, and Higita who is 14th, but quite some time. So it's may probably Guerrero or Tunes who will take the jersey if they get onto the finish. But Higita attacks, and none of the two can react. So Tunes sitting in the wheel and now trying to sprint, gets past Higita, and he finishes this stage as the winner, just in front of Guerrero and Higuita, and he will probably take the overall standings too. Heter wins the sprint behind in front of Bilbao, McNulty, Rodriguez, Paulus, Vogelsang, and Koes. So, fourth day, and for the fourth time a new leader. Every day we had another leader in the overall standings already. So Teuns strengthens his green jersey and also is now leader in the overall classification, I think. So 19 seconds is the gap between the first three and the rest of the peloton. So in the overall standings, Tunes has 12 seconds in front of Guerrero, and Izagirre is back in third with 23 seconds behind. In the mountain classification, nothing really changed, except Tunes got 10 points or more points, so he's fourth now. In the points classification, Tunes has a bigger gap on Guerrero, and it will probably go between those two for the points classification. And in the youth classification, nothing really changed. Jumbo still the best team in front of Bahrain and Ineos. No DNFs today, so that's good. And we can go on to the next stage, which is once again a hilly stage. You got Alpecin got sixth on the stage. That's okay. That's not much, but you got a top 10 place, so that give you some points, I think. The Paladin is still a bit afraid to let a major break go, I think. So we'll see how many riders are in the break today. Stage 5, who is the first to attack and get the break today. Yetzeball is the winner of this question. And he gets Brambilla with him, who's a nice rider to get in the breakaway. Mate, Desal, Huis, Esquera are trying to get in break 2. We have Lotti, Luis Leon Sanchez, and Benditsen, who are also trying to get there. But that's too much riders, maybe, for team. Now, Kolokuk is chasing the first riders. We have another attack, Roscoff and Sanchez. At the front, Ball is third in the mountain classification, so he can take over probably today. The rest of the riders doesn't really have points. And Brambilla takes the first climb in front of Ball and Skira. Roscoff and Sanchez are trying to catch up with the break. That makes 8 riders probably. And no LPC. So, 2 Astana, 2 Burgos, 1 Wanty, 1 Q36, 5, 1 Bingo, and 1 Euskatel. And they get 4.5 minutes rounded. Second categorized climb of the day. And it's Brambilla who takes the points in front of Bull. It's Bull second, Huis third. Huis third, that will not be correct. 5 minutes for the break. 5.5 minutes for the break. 100 kilometers to go, so maybe they can go somewhere and try to go for the victory. Roscoff is the best placed rider at 7 minutes 47, so no big threat to the peloton. And the peloton broke into parts in the descent. 24 riders, but they all got back. This one is a steep climb with percentages up to 12% at the middle part. So let's see if something happens here in the peloton. Ball is far at the back, so won't be easy to take points for him. Brambilla takes them in front of Sanchez, Mate, and Hofkov. Ball didn't take any, so he stays at 5 points from Berasategi. And Hirada attacks with 60 kilometers to go. Fortunato tries to follow. Fortunato at 2 minutes. But they are caught caught again by the peloton that is split at the top of the climb. So maybe some of these splits will be definite, although they're still trying to get back, and they got back. Break still has 4 minutes and 40 seconds, so they might go all the way today. While there is a crash, but I don't think there are riders that's really affected by that. Cepeda is at the back, now has to catch up again with the peloton. 4 minutes still for the break. And at the top of this steep hill, there's once again a chance of the group breaking apart. Seems like a dead break in some pieces. Christian Oscar Rodriguez is not here. Castelviejo at the back. Camargo, Omen, some riders that crashed. But they're all in the same group again. While Verasategi is at the back and everyone is waiting for him once again. Jumbo is taking things in hand in the peloton to get back to the breakaway, which has still almost 3 minutes with 40 kilometers to go. Sanchez takes a sprint, but nobody cares about that in the breakaway anymore. While Ineos is trying to get back to the break. Rokas is at the back. Goossens, who was in break today, I think. Cepeda is also not present in the peloton anymore. Some riders are dropping because they are tired, and there's a high peloton by Derek G in the peloton. Also in the break, Huis, Pizal, Bol, and Esquerra are tired, so only 4 riders, and they still have, let's check, there's Tunes under them. Let's do Guerrero instead then. Break still has 2 minutes and 30 seconds of of the peloton, and Dylan Tunes is a bit further. He's at the back here, so not really great position to be in. Maybe I can catch up and get back to the front. More riders are dropped. So only 65 people left in the peloton, while Chavez is trying to get the gap down. Ilias at the back, Car Bovin all dropping. Hater is getting water for his team. He should be the favorite of the day, but he's getting water. Luis Leon Sanchez is done in a break. Roscoff and Brambilla are left because Matti is cooked. It's also empty. Tonelli is also out of the peloton. Castelviejo, Pelot, yeah, Tullet, uit de boek Stivery Chavez, Christian Rodriguez, Derek G. Fortunato, Sobrero, Fiorelli are in trouble. Brambilla attacks and drops Roscoff. Has to still go 90 kilometers on his own. Let's see, still has 1 minute 15 seconds, but in the peloton, pace is not slowing down. So Fiorelli is empty. Only Sbarali, Ferron, Anderson, Bayer, Sombrero, Fortunato, Paul Fernandez all empty. So 25 people left in the peloton. No one is trying to go for the sprints. Um, Maybe these nine can still catch up to the front. Only 1 minute and 10 seconds left for Gambida. Let's see if he can hold on. The peloton is still chasing at full speed. Anderson is back in the peloton. And only 30 seconds left for Gambida, so he won't make it till the end. There are two hills left. Let's see if anyone attacks on them. Christian Carlos Rodriguez is the first one directly at the foot of the climb, attacking, and Teuns isn't following at the moment. So Paulus trying to take over, and he gets a small gap. Rodriguez and Bilbao are trying to follow. Teuns is a bit further at the back. Kransen is still with the group. Heter has dropped. Urs, Herada, Yoni Zakiri, third in the overall standings, has dropped. So bad news for him. 15 riders in the peloton, and Paulus and Carlos Rodriguez are at the front. Fuglsang is trying to close the gap, and he manages to close the gap. And then Carlos Rodriguez attacks again, and we have a nice group of 6 riders who are away. Carlos Rodriguez, Barguil, Paulus, Cruz, Teuns, and Bilbao. And it looks like those 6 will go for the stage win, maybe. Here is the sprint. Who's leading? Anyone get over him? Yes, Paulus wins in front of Cruz, Bilbao, Rodriguez, Barguil, and Teuns, who is completely empty but will defend his jersey. Guerrero is 7th, Pietrago 8th, Hikita, McNulty, Landa, Alice Fuglsang, Herada, Gegenhardt, and now Kramersen will finish as 16th in front of Chris Hamilton, Hater, and Hanbila fight for 18th, and Mulberger is 20th. Nice victory by Paulus. He attacked a lot in this Itzula already, so it's good that he gets a win. But yeah, Jumbo wasn't there. They were with 3 riders in the second group, but they weren't at the front, so that wasn't the best performance. 10 seconds for Dylan Teuns and 19 for Guerrero between the first riders. Teuns still holds the overall, but a bit bigger gap in front of Guerrero, and Kush moves into third, I think. Barguil also good, and Paulus moves up some spots too. Um, Climber classification is still for Berasategui, who has one more day to defend his jersey. Teuns extends his lead in the points classification, and Rodriguez is back in the Young Riders jersey. because Ayufu wasn't with the first group. Jumbo and Bahrain are the best teams, and the rest is miles away, miles behind. So export, that's done. Let's check no DNFs. So we are still at 131 riders for the last day, last stage, which has a lot of mountain points. And James will have to defend his jersey, his overall jersey, because there are a lot of climbs and there can be gaps. And we are at the start of the final stage of this race. Brambilla attacks. He is fourth in the mountain classification, so he might take the mountain classification over in the stage. Chavez follows, and of course our mountain leader Vera Sategi with Roscoff also trying to close down the gap with the first two riders. So Vera Sategi caught up with the first two, and Roscoff is still chasing them, but will probably join them too soon. So Roscoff is almost there. Yes, now he is there. In Peloton, there are some teams who wants to go in the breakaway who wants are riding behind the first riders because they haven't had the chance to join the breakaway yet. And now let's see who takes the mountain points. Chavez attacks. It's still possible for Chavez to take the mountain jersey. Veracity is second on the first climb. Marambila was fourth, so didn't get any points. And we are in front of the breakaway, and Brambila and Roscoff are done for today, so they won't be finishing with the first group. Veracity also, which means one of these three riders has the potential to take the mountain jersey if they finish first on following three climbs. Chavez is also done. Christian Rodriguez takes 2 points in front of Oosens, Chavez, and Beras Tegen. Also, Roscoff is just caught at the top of that climb. Okay, Chavez is at the first riders. Pickering and Bonito fell, but they are trying to get back. So 3 riders in the break with a bit more than 3 minutes in front of the peloton. Goossens has the most points for the mount classification at the moment, so let's see if he can keep it like that on this climb. I think Chavez won this one. It says here Rodriguez, but let's see. Chavez has. Let's see if we points. Oh, and the back, Bol or Brambilla on the sprint. Chavez with 15 and Rodriguez with 14. So Chavez won in front of Rodriguez and Hostess. Gasten at the back, Bonilo. Next up is the Kabelin climb, also first category. Really steep climb, 9.7 average, 13.2 max. Hostess attacks first, but yeah, he is able to keep it up. Chavez is empty, Rodriguez 2, and Hostess takes the points. Yet Bol and Brambilla fight for the rest of the points. At the moment, Goossens only needs 5 more points to get in the mountain jersey. Yet Bol 6 and Christian Rodriguez 9. Chavez 10. The break has 4.5 minutes. 4 minutes more or less. So but it's still far to go, and in the peloton they are really chasing. So we had only 2.5 minutes now. Also, Chavez is once again dropped, and Goossens takes the point at the top. So for Berasategui to keep the mountain jersey, the first 2 riders should be caught before the Itzua climb, and so they don't take any more points. More and more riders are dropped, like the whole Burgos team is at the back. And at the front we have Barguil who attacks, and Healy who tries to follow. Only 23 riders here, so who is not? Gegenhardt is not there. I think most of the other riders are still present. Yeah, and all the riders of the top 10 are still at the front. Let's see. So only Gegenhardt is here. The other riders are still in the peloton. Goossens has to hold on for 3 kilometers and then he can take the mountain jersey. and he will probably do that. Guerrero attacks, who is second in overall. Higita follows and Lambda 2. And then we have Castroviejo, Hili, Teuns, Koes, most to the peloton, trying to catch them. Goossens has 1 kilometer left to climb. Can he make it in front? Yes, he does. Goossens takes the mountain classification on the last day from 6 points to 39. So he will be the leader of the mountain classification. No one can change that. Guerrero and Landa are away, while Tunes is still in the peloton and has Vogelsang and G, I think, to chase down. And Tunes has to bring the water himself. Um, Gegenhardt is behind, and the rest is almost in the peloton. I don't think Landa is working with Guerrero, so he has to do most of it himself. Now Tunes has to chase him down himself, and now Higita attacks, and Barguil follows. They get a gap. Koes tries to bridge. Paulus Tunes also trying to get to that group. So we have 5 riders at front. Tunes thinks like that's good for me. He tries to go on, but they are still caught. McNulty now taking things in hand for Jumbo, trying to maintain a steady tempo. Castroviejo is struggling. Gegenhardt is also struggling at the top, so he might lose his top 10 spots. Poels also at the back. Mulberger won't make it, but it looks like Twins will be the winner of the Itzulia Basque country, because there are only 5 flat kilometers left, so you just can't let anyone ride away. But Jumbo is helping with that because they are keeping a high tempo with 3 riders. I think for Ayuso maybe for the sprint. Barguil is attacking with 4 kilometers to go. Anyone following him? Yes, Koes. Ayuso trying also. Then Guerrero, and of course Teuns follows Guerrero. Teuns now himself trying to lead out Vogelsang maybe. And Carlos Rodriguez is there. They will catch Barguil. Vogelsang is empty. Paulus for his second for Higita. It's Paulus for his second victory in 2 days. In front of Vogelsang, Guerrero, Ethan Hayter, Higita, McNulty, Izagirre, Barguil. Bilbao, Butra, Rodriguez, Teuns, and Ayuso. Landa and Koes lose some seconds, so Koes may fall down from the podium. Mühlberger also not great, and Gegenhardt probably loses his top 10 spots to Higita. For Andersen 20th, just after Verona. So yeah, group sprint for last stage, won for a second time by Paulus, and Dylan Teuns takes home the overall standings and probably also the point standings. Paulus takes 3 extra seconds plus bonus seconds and gets into fourth, while Koes falls down to seventh. but Teuns keeps his lead uh, in the overall standings. So Teuns, Guerrero, Rodriguez, Paulus, Barguil, Ayuso, Kuss, Buitrago, Landa, and Vogelsang. Kobo Goossens on the last day takes the mount classification, which is a pity for Weerstrategi because he went like in the break every day or something. He is still second though, Bolt third, Rodriguez fourth, and Chavez fifth. Points classification, Paulus just takes it in front of Guerrero and Dylan Teuns, which is really close, but with two victories he just takes it. Rodriguez and Jon Izaguri round out the top five in the points classification. And in the young rider classification, we have um, Carlos Rodriguez, Ayuso, Buitrago, and then McNulty already minute 37 behind, Ethan Hayter 5 minutes behind, and the rest over 10 minutes behind. Jumbo-Visma best team with Bahrain Victorious close, and then Ineos and the rest really far behind. So that was Basque Country. There are three more riders out of time today with Rodenberg, Rokas, and Bonillo. In the overall standings, we have Higita 11th, and Gegenhardt falls down to 15th, so not really great. Um, some more to top 75 like this. So yeah, that was it for Itzulia. Bit unexpected winner maybe. Well, Vancouver was really suited for him, so um, you can't say that was unexpected, but no, I'm wrong. So yeah, thanks all for following, and see you in 15 minutes for what was it? Um, Pays de la Loire should be in 15 minutes. So bye.